JULY99 reporter Megan Thompson. We've been teaming up with the Cronkite School to bring you up-to-the-minute reports on the 2012 Olympic Games in London. In our first story, we take you to Hyde Park, where the Olympic Games has brought renewed attention to the Speaker's Corner. Cronkite News reporter Kaylin Bradley explains this old London tradition.
There's no consistency. Why? It is wrong.
People were hanged here by the neck until they were dead every Sunday afternoon, and they were allowed to make their last speeches before being hanged, and so Speaker's Corner began.
What many tourists in London's Hyde Park might view as mindless banter is actually an endless flow of global conversation that started hundreds of years ago.
People began speaking for other causes, like against slavery.
Ted Wheatley has been coming to Speaker's Corner with his son Daniel for more than 20 years, sharing their experiences with anyone willing to listen.
I went around the world on a scooter, and I came back with the idea that we're all one human race with a lot of problems, and we needed a United Nations that was more effective.
And then,
To Daniel, there's no better time to partake than during the Olympic Games.
That idea of peace and internationalism that the original Olympics expressed, that's very much commensurate with what we believe.
For this father-son duo, Speaker's Corner is not just a place to debate. It's a way to leave their mark on the world.
I'm a human being, and I should try to make the world a little bit better than the way I found it.
And in an age when not all enjoy the freedom of speech, the sound coming from this small corner of the world can still inspire. In London, Kaylin Bradley, Cronkite News.
Different weather conditions give you a different view of it as well. You know, the sea can be really calm like a baby, or it can roar like a tiger.
Weymouth, located on the southwest coast of England, has a long history of sailing. So when London was preparing its bid for host city in 2003, the choice for a sailing venue was obvious. However, locals like Shirley Summers were a little anxious after winning the bid.
We were a little bit apprehensive because we didn't know what it would mean for us. But I have to say, now that it's happened, it's really exciting.
Construction of the sailing venues were actually finished before the Olympics were awarded to England. That's because the organizers plan to make this a world-class sailing venue, games or not. But the Olympics have led to other kinds of improvements.
£250 million worth of investment, private and public money, has come into this area since the announcement of the Games.
But others want the city to invest in other industries, appealing to a broader group of people.
Underdeveloped, that it needs to come up with the times. I remember when we first came here saying get the kids to do computers, and the local people said to us, no, all we do here is fish or make boats. They don't need them computers.
Still, residents have a sense of pride showing their city off to the world, hoping that it'll have lasting effects on tourism for the region.
It just really shows us so well. I mean, it shows how beautiful, what a lovely part of the country that we live in.
In Weymouth, England, Blake Wilson, Cronkite News.
Today it is the crown jewel of London, but just a decade ago this area was a wasteland of decayed buildings and contaminated waters.
I really enjoyed it. I went to the park this morning for the first time. I hadn't seen it before and loved it.
A quote that would have been hard to come by years ago. Once the site of London's Industrial Revolution, it is once again the center of attention for London, but for a very different reason.
Old waterways and canals and a lot of contamination from those industries.
John Hopkins and his team were put in charge of creating a park that would change the way future structures of this magnitude would be designed.
We put in the park at the heart based on the riverways, so restored the riverways, put in woodlands, wetlands, footpaths. So this is a new kind of park that caters not only for people but for wildlife as well.
The Olympic Park is expected to host more than 250,000 visitors on peak days, but once the games are over, many of the park's structures will be sizably scaled down.
The concourse will go from, in some places, 50 meters wide down to just 10 meters wide.
Many of the structures within Olympic Park are temporary and will come down shortly after the games close.
I think it's a really, really great opportunity for them to show for future generations of the Olympics that you don't need to spend as much money on building something from scratch totally new. You can reuse what it is that you have.
In a world of going green, London may have just set the bar. In London, Fahim Rasool, Cronkite News.
Thanks for watching. The Cronkite News team is producing more packages today, and we'll have those for you tomorrow. Reporting for No 99 Television, I'm Megan Thompson.